Hello to everybody. I'm Gonzague. I'm the product line manager in charge of the needle roller bearings at NTN Roulement, the European branch of NTN Corporation. Today, I will introduce you the NTN Needle Roller Bearings range, explain you why choose a range, and show you the application that are already used the NTN Needle Roller Bearings. Did you know? As NTN is now a company over 100 years old, the production of needle bearings started more than 50 years ago in Japan. All the production is still entirely located there. This half-century has enabled us to be today the world number 2 in needle roller bearings and the leader in our historical market, Japan. To illustrate our activities, please find few figures. NTN is more than 320 million bearings produced each year, which are delivered to more than 20,000 distributors and or e-customers. NTN is now became a key player in the needle roller bearing market. As a preamble, I will quickly explain you what a needle bearing is and what makes it different from cylindrical roller bearings. The definition is quite simple. The needle roller bearings is a thin section bearings whose cylindrical rolling elements fulfill two conditions. The first condition is an outside diameter less than 5 mm. The second condition is a ratio length to outside diameter between 3 and 10. Apart from these two conditions, we will be in presence of a cylindrical roller bearing. Needle roller bearings offer many advantages. The first advantage is they offer very small dimensions compared to other bearing families. Due to the length of the rolling elements, they offer high load capacities and a high radial rigidity. The needles are relatively light rolling elements, so they offer a fairly low inertia in operation. The small outside diameter also makes possible to withstand oscillating loads on very small angular sectors. These products are easy to handle and easy to mount. The last advantage, which is not the least, is the low cost of this technology. Why choose the NTN Needle Roller Bearings range? This is the range of the world number 2, a range that covers 95% of the market's needs. This range continues to evolve to meet the customer expectations. For example, 500 new references have been added 2 years ago. Let's have a look on all types of bearings inside this range. We will find the needle roller cage, the simplest and most compact needle product. The drone cup, the economical solution which incorporates an outer ring made of sheet steel. The needle roller bearings with massive rings for higher bearings performance. The roller followers, whether with axis or without axis. The needle roller thrust or roller thrust. And also bearings which combine the radial and axial functions for maximum integration. You have to know that each type could be split into many subfamilies. The needle roller bearings are the answer wherever you need to support heavy loads in a compact environment. The first type of needle roller bearing, the needle roller cages. This is the simplest and the most compact needle roller bearing. The shaft and housing rolling path have to be machined by the customer. Several cage technologies are available in single or double rows. The sheet metal cages, machined or stamped and welded, the polyamide cage. The cages can be split or in two parts to withstand particular operating conditions. We have also in the range some cages that have been developed to withstand extreme operating conditions. For example, for connecting a rod of engine or a compressor, applications where mechanical and thermal stresses are important. A range of cages is available for shafts from 3 to 285 mm. A second large family of needle roller bearings are the drone cups. Drone cups are economical radial bearings which incorporate a stamped sheet metal outer ring. The needles are guided inside by a cage. Two types of drone cup are possible: the HK and HMK, which are open-type bearings. Note that the HMK series is a high-capacity series, offering more performance for a small envelope increasing. This is an exclusivity from NTN. The drone cup are also available with a closed end. We are talking about the BK series. The closed end protects the functional part of the bearing, but also hides the end of the shaft for an additional safety. The stamped closed end also makes it possible to take up a moderate axial load, ensuring the guidance of the shaft in this case. The drone cup are available in single or double rows for more load capacity. They are also available with one or two seals. The bearings are in this case pre-greased by NTN and can also integrate a relubrication hole in the outer ring. The standard range is available for shafts from 3 to 50 mm. Remember that the drone cup remain high-performance bearings, which require hardened and ground shafts. If it is not possible to provide a shaft with the minimum required quality, we recommend to use a massive inner ring ER type. The next type in the range are the needle roller bearings with massive rings. We are talking about solid rings. The two rings of this bearing are thick and machined from treated 100 Celsius steel type, quenched and tempered, for optimal hardness. In addition to offering high guidance precision, needle roller bearings offer the best performance in load capacity and rotation speed. These bearings are available in 6-dimensional series, from the light series NK to the heavy series NKS. Massive rings needle roller bearings are available in single or double rows, with or without an inner ring. We remind you that the associated shaft must be hardened and rectified. The cages are either guided by the outer ring or without guidance. In this case, this is a separable type. The guidance of the cage must be ensured by the environment itself. These bearings are possible with one or two seals. This range is very wide. It is available for shafts from 5 to 490 mm for the version without an inner ring, and up to 440 mm with an inner ring. Please note that the inner rings are available individually to be associated with bearings without rings, but some variants are also possible to be used as a seal raceway when the customer's shaft does not have the minimum properties required to perform this function. Up to now, we have talked only about radial bearings. The NTN range also includes bearings intended to support exclusively axial loads. These are the thrust needle roller bearings. This range is subdivided into two sub-ranges. the truss bearings with needles for very compact products, the truss bearing with rollers for higher load capacity. The truss and NRB are available as separate parts or as an assembled unit. Different materials are available for the cages. They are mainly made from polyamide or sheet metal, but other materials are possible, such as aluminum or brass. The two sub-branches of truss NRB are associated with two series of washers. Either a stamped thin series for a constant thickness of 1 mm, whatever the size of the bearing, or a thick machined series with thickness from 2.75 to 16.5 mm. In the case of the thick series washer, the two washers are not identical. One has a function of a shaft washer. It is therefore fitted on the shaft. The second will be the housing washer, is therefore fitted inside the housing. Needles or roller truss bearings are available for shaft from 10 to 160 mm. After having seen the bearing for purely radial loads and those for purely axial loads, we will see the range of bearings for combined axial and radial loads. We are simply talking about the combined bearings. It is a combination within a single unit of a radial bearing with massive rings and an axial truss bearing. This integration allows to make the overall construction of the assembly more compact. Four variants are possible for the truss function. With a ball truss bearing, a single effect truss bearing, which can only take up axial loads in one direction, with a needle or roller truss bearing for the strongest axial loads, always a single effect type. A variant uses an angular contact ball bearing to take up the axial loads. The truss bearing can be single or double effect. A final variant is provided with two axial needle or roller truss bearings. This is a double effect truss bearing. This last variant has been developed to withstand the significant loads induced by the ball screws. Combinated bearings are available for shaft from 7 to 70 mm. Options are possible, such as the protective flange, which obviously protects the truss, but which also keeps the truss parts assembled. Finally, the last family of bearings in the NTN range is the roller followers. Their particularity is that they have a very thick outer ring, which allows the bearing to run on a rail or inside a cam. The outer ring shape is essentially with a radius in order to allow normal operation despite the structural deformation that the bearing may endure. But cylindrical version is also available. Two types of roller follower are available. The roller follower without axis, which can be with or without an inner ring. They are available with a cage for higher speeds or without cage for higher load capacities. Two series of roller followers also use rollers for even more load capacity. Seal versions are of course also available. The second type is the cam follower with an axis. The axis eliminates the need of a shaft to use the bearing. Two modes of fixing are possible in the body of the cam follower. A straight recess, known as for screwdriver, or an hexagonal recess. The NTN cam follower can be used without additional parts. The clamping nut is delivered by NTN as a standard, but the cam follower can, of course, be screwed into a taped hole. You will also find in the box the grease nipple on the plugs to ensure the lubrication of the bearing. Most of our range is available with outer diameter up to 90 mm or even 110 mm for the most capacities series. Why choose NTN Needle Roller Bearings? These products are entirely made in Japan. The entire production cycle, from design to manufacturing, is located in Japan. The 50 years of experience have enabled our Japanese colleagues to develop a great experience with this type of product. This great experience has enabled NTN to design state-of-the-art bearings. The macro and micro geometries are optimized in order to offer the maximum load capacity. It is also a rigorous selection of high-performance steel. Steel which is associated with advanced thermochemical treatments to once again maximize the performance. Let's have a look on an example of product improvement, the HK drone cup with F suffix. This range of drone cup has been recently modernized. I will show you the axis of improvement which allowed us to achieve a very high reliability. The material of the outer ring has been changed. It is now harder. The bearing can therefore withstand higher static loads. I mean, a lower static safety factor is now accepted. It was 3 in the past, is now 2 only. The outer ring shoulder has also been redesigned in order to allow a better entry of lubricant inside the bearing. The outer ring has an optimal shape and surface finishing for easier assembly. The V-shape of the cage also contributes to better lubrication and therefore increase the reliability. The cage is hardened or nitroded, so it resists better against wear. The needles roller receive a special carbon nitroding, resulting in a significantly increased service life, especially under unfavorable lubrication conditions. The needles also have a profile that allows better distribution of the stresses on the raceways. This also contributes to an increasing of the service life. Finally, the manufacturing process has also been revised. By judiciously applying the heat treatment to the correct production phases, it is possible to make the outer ring more robust and allow it to be fitted in both directions. The benefits for the customer are significant. A life improved and multiplied by 3 at minimum. The bearing can accept higher static loads, for example in case of shocks. The bearing is easier to assemble, therefore easier to manage in an industrial process. Our long experience in contact with our customers, but also our own testing facilities, allow us to demonstrate an exceptional level of performance day after day. If the products are made in Japan, sales support is obviously located as close as possible to customers in Europe. We provide to our customers various tools. A catalog specially edited for the European market. On our online site, in particular through the e-shop basket, you will find the tools to make interchanges, to access to the technical sheets of the products. We also have posters on desk pad to facilitate access to this very wide range. Technical support is also located in Europe for advice on personalized studies. Finally, we rely on a European warehouse. Our logistics platform in France, located near Lyon, maintains an availability of over 80% of the products in the range to allow short delivery times. So, if we summarize the NTN range of needle roller bearings, this Japanese premium range is an outstanding wide range. This range offers state-of-the-art products, proven products for an unbeatable reliability. This range is kept available as close as possible to customers. It is therefore easy to order and easy to sell. We will finish this presentation by reviewing the many applications that are already using the NTN needle roller bearings every day. As the range of products is very wide, it is therefore aimed at all areas of the industry. These are, for example, the connecting rods of small engines for portable tools. NTN needle roller cage offer the compactness and level of performance to withstand high temperature and severe lubrication conditions. The high torque reducer of construction machines also use a lot of high-performance needle roller cages, like the gearboxes and motor of motorcycles, but also gearboxes and air compressor for automotive. There are many roller followers in industrial transiting systems. Robust and enduring roller followers reduce maintenance operation and therefore the associated costs. In the textile industry, a major constraint is the operation under oscillating regimes. Needle technology is very suitable for this operating condition due to the small diameter of the needles. The needle roller bearings are also widely used inside electric power tools because of the weight saving and the compactness they offer. Forklifts need sturdy roller followers to operate safely. The NTN range also demonstrates its performance in agricultural applications where operating conditions are severe due to significant pollution. Severe operating conditions that are also met in the steel industry. For the industrial robots, it is first and foremost the very high rigidity that is required and where extremely precise movement must be ensured. Thank you for your attention. I hope this video has brought you a synthetic overview of the possibilities of the NTN needle roller bearing range. Do not hesitate to share with us your questions or comments under this video or with your usual contact. And we hope to see you again soon for new masterclass session.